Oh, oh, what? Oh, we're back. We're back after a 30-minute wait. We're back. We're back with Tier 4. It's still the start of the sprint. Let's also do this. And here we go, we have the start of the sprint race. It's 5 lights, and it's out. We have the Ferrari getting away well on those medium tyres. Let's see behind as we have the Red Bull pulling to the inside. Massadoko going on the inside and actually squeezing Lahas out wide. And that allows the Mercedes through, who taps the Red Bull on the rear, and the Red Bull spins out and has DNF from Lesessen within the first 3 corners, and that Red Bull is most definitely out. We still have racing conditions here in Melbourne, so let's see who else could go for an overtake, hopefully cleaner than that was. So let's see, Lahas on the back of Nevesky Polak, who seems to have got away well. We've got TVX Buzz being overtaken by Gamer in Alfa Romeo quite easily on those medium tyres. Lahas unable to get past for now, as we have the Mercedes quite skirmish through turn 10. As we have Lahas going at drift at turn 11, and that leaves the door open for the McLaren, and maybe just Khan and Wine 7 as well, to overtake up to P7 and 8 respectively. Now let's see, up ahead we have TVX Buzz gaining and gaining on the back of Gamer in Alfa Romeo. What do they do as they mount the curb of turn 1? Maybe not what you'd want to do, but they continue on the hunt for P1. Could they get it back? Buzz started on pole position, has now been overtaken, and we have a new race leader, the Alfa Romeo of Gamer. But Buzz still on the tail. And we have TVX Buzz gaining on one of 4 DRS zones in this 5.3 km/mile track. We have LaFerrari now pulling to the inside of Gamer. Now into turn 11, they go side by side. We have La Alfa Romeo on the outside. Who will pay off? We have La Alfa Romeo still sticking it round the outside. And now LaFerrari on the inside. And Alfa Romeo goes wide. And the Ferrari is back up to P1. We have DRS enable this lap as all drivers now start the pit straight. I believe that was a McLaren and AlphaTauri going side by side. We have yellow flags. What for? It is for an Aston Martin who is off track, and now as things slow down, I believe we do have a VSC, and this equalizes the pace of everyone. I don't expect anyone at all to be coming into pit lane. For now, as we have Jesus retiring from the sprint race. Of course, I believe this will also organise the grid format for the start of the race. Yes, VSC confirmation. And we have a 5-second time penalty for POH7 Gamer, who has spun FBI agent out of Lesessen, and that Haas is miles away from the rest of the grid, as I believe Gamer in Alfa Romeo got a time penalty for that incident. I believe they spun around half during the VSC condition. And now we have Hams on the back of Nevesky Polak, all seeming to get away quite equally, and no overtakes being formed just yet. Now we have AlphaTauri closing and closing to Yami Teapot, and the Williams might be left defenseless against the fast rising AlphaTauri of Khan and Wine, who gets their car up into P8. Now we have a 3-second time penalty for Buzz, and that is for corner cutting. Quite interestingly, I didn't think there's too many places to cut corners around this track, but the Ferrari proving me wrong yet again. Now we have Nevesky Polak being given a 3-second time penalty. We have penalties being handed out to anyone, as we have Ghost spinning it at the exit of the final corner. Do they have front wing damage? They are continuing. But it's pointless now, since we only got 5 laps left for everyone to catch back up. And we have Conan Wine going for an overtake once again on Ampi Kieviv. And up to P7 as AlphaTauri goes, as we have Sen on the tail of the Ferrari, who seems to have gone wide through turn 12. And now forcing the Mercedes off track is the Ferrari. But the Mercedes coming back on the inside and enabling the RS to get that move done quite easily. Nevesky Polak being the next one to overtake the Ferrari. They might have tried their luck down the inside of the Mercedes, but they stay behind. What has happened to PVX Buzz is the question. I believe they just fell off, really. Now we have a huge scrabble going on for P3, and Hams going round the outside of Nevesky Polak, and now we do have a safety car, and this might as well just last to the final lap, as this is terrible news for Gamer in P1. They've of course got that 5-second time penalty. So this is really bad news, but for everyone behind, I believe they probably want a chance to get back in the race, and this might just be the chance for them to score some points. Now we have the Mercedes leading everyone away, but close on the tail of the Merc is the Ferrari of TVX Buzz, and the Merc has actually left the session, and that leaves them very vulnerable to everyone behind, as they have been disconnected from the session, and this might just lose them 8 points as they fall behind everyone, overtaking the Merc left, right and centre, as they can do nothing as they are ghosted. Now we have Noveski Polak on the tail of Hams. They're going to go round the outside into turn 9, and they seem to have pulled the move off. And that is P2 for the Williams driver, as we have yellow flags being thrown. And could that just be for Amputevip, who seems to have lost a lot of places. And they might lose one. Oh, they tap Alpine on the rear, nearly sending them into the grass and sending them for a DNF, and now throwing it down the inside. Noveski Polak is gone! They have spun it at the exit of turn 11. And it seems like they've lost a lot of places because of it. And Noveski Polak are now down in P16. Maybe that was Hams, who was fighting with Williams driver. But I guess we won't know as until the FIA reports come in. Now we have Ghosty being the next driver to retire, and retiring in the pit lane. Now we have on the back of Yummy Teapot, it is the McLaren, and the McLaren seems to have got the move done. They didn't even need any DRS for the move as well. And that is the Ferrari of Amputevip spinning it at the final corner, and now their hopes of points to go flying away as Conan Wine crosses the line. Is a second flag, and they take the sprint race to victory here in Australia. And we've got the race coming up just in a few moments, so don't go anywhere. It is Hams alongside them in P2. Conan Wine, of course, starting P10, but they have managed to sneak their way past. And lights out, just 20 seconds away. Let's see all different strategies we could play out. It's normally looking like a one-stop around Australia, but you do never know with safety cars affecting the race every time. And we have 5 red lights. And they are out. We have Con and Wine getting a good getaway, but we have the McLaren of Oliver with an amazing launch. And onto tail of Conan. What could they do? Alfa Romeo on the inside, squeezing them. But the McLaren seems to have got the move done. Onto Alfa Romeo and up to P2 they go. They're still fighting it. And their teammate, Gamer, into Alfa Romeo. What could they do as they seem to get a move done on the outside of the Ferrari? The Ferrari forces them off track during turn 5, I believe that was. And that has caused them to lose out quite a bit. And down to P6 they go now with a 3-second time penalty. And Sen now retiring from the session. What has happened with them? As we have TOH Gamer now on the tail of the Ferrari and getting the move past the Ferrari, who falls to P7 now. Con and Wine on the tail of the McLaren. What could happen here? We've got yellow flags. And that is for the crash of Sen. And now on the tail of Oliver B is Conan, looking to get the race lead once again. What do they do? 1/10 as they go into braking zone of turn 1. They're going to get a good slipstream into turn 3. But they're going to stick behind. We've got the 2 Alfa Romeos, and Gamer will now be unleashed to challenge that top 2 pack. Hams are definitely not fighting that move with their teammate. Let's go to tyre graphics. Most people opt in between mediums and softs, but we've got the bottom 4 on hard tyres. And now we have Nevzewski Polak DNFing from the session. And they fall to P19, and that is a DNF for Williams as they leave the session. Not quite sure what happened there, but it looks like they crashed at the exit of turn 6, I believe that was. And that is the Williams race over. And now we have Jesus and Mackie going into pit lane. And for the Red Bull, it is a new front wing as well. So what has happened there between those two drivers, as Jesus also gets a new front wing? We do have the VSC restart. We've got Hot on the tail of the Williams with Hams. What could they do? They'll be hoping to make a move in the few upcoming laps. We've got TOH Gamer with better grip. They seem to have got past Con and Wine quite easily, as they got a good exit from turn 6. And now they will also get past Oliver. They seem to be absolutely flying quick into turn 9. And they'll be hoping to keep that lead, as we have behind the Ferrari and Red Bull going quite side by side into turn 11. Who will come out on top? The Ferrari being forced on the inside curb. Now the Red Bull trying to stick it round the outside will now be forced out by the Ferrari and having to back out of that move. Leaves the door open for the Alpine, as what is happening there? As the Red Bull on my screen has mounted on top of the Alpine. It's like Hamilton and Verstappen. What is happening? I believe that is the Alpine ghosting now. Am I the only one seeing that? And we have yellow flags, and that is for CST Play, who is out of the race. Aston Martin is out, and we have a huge kerfuffle at turn 3, as I believe that was Mr. K. Wheeler and PTF. The drivers involved in that all losing out position. As we have most people going into pit lane now, quite interestingly. DVX bus cutting across the chicane to put themselves into pit lane. Would that be investigated later? That is. Technically should be a penalty for the Ferrari of TVX Buzz, but we move. Some people committing themselves to a one stop. Some people like TVX Buzz committing themselves to a two stop, as we have most people opting to stay out, but we do have a large proportion of people going into pit lane for some new tyres. And you might think these people who haven't pitted will definitely be wanting to build a gap, and might as well build a gap, because those hards will have no grip at all and won't even last until the end of the race, I don't believe. I mean, you're looking at a pit window of 10 to 12, not 5. I mean, those hards, you've really got to ask yourself, are they going to last? And with some people, I don't believe they are. And then we get ready for the safety car restart. Leading us away it is Oliver, their teammate F1 Rise in P3. It's looking like a lovely day out in Melbourne for the papaya colour team. So let's see, as Oliver really leaving it late, and now they will go, but F1 Bryce has got an amazing run onto Ferrari. The top three seems to have steamed away from the rest of the grid. Let's see F1 Bryce forcing a move down the inside and getting through, making it a McLaren 1-2. We've got MPP now being overtaken by Mr. K. Wheeler. They do try to fight it, sending it down the inside. Mr. K. Wheeler being forced out off track. Ham's trying to make a half-hearted move on the Alpine, but staying in P5 for now. Everything seems to have relatively stayed the same. MPP losing out at the restart, but we've got Silent Apex, Hams all gaining on Mr. K. Wheeler around this 16 corner track. What could they do as they're gaining and gaining and being forced around the outside for turn 9, but they make the move happen, cutting across the chicane of turn 10 as well. But this gives Mr. K. Wheeler a chance to come back, and sending it down the inside is the Alpine, and spinning out is the Alpine, as they seem to have tapped the back of the Alfa Romeo Hams, and that has sent both Mr. K. Wheeler and Silent Apex spinning out of the race down to P16 and 17. And that is the Haas of FBI agent losing it onto pit straight, sending it into the pit straight wall, and they have DNF'd on track. Might that just bring out a safety car? I'm not quite too sure. We have yellow flags being waved through sector 3 as TVX Buzz tries their luck round the outside of the Alfa Romeo of CO87 Gamer, but Gamer really forcing them off track once again as they're forced into the outside wall of turn 4. That is very dirty from the Alfa Romeo of Gamer. They need a ban clearly. 287 Gamer now tries their luck round the outside of Yummy Teapot. They go up into P7, but they do not have a portion of their front wing. Yes, their front wing is quite damaged, and they go on to gravel of turn 10 and really forcing the Red Bull off track and nearly spinning out the Red Bull on a straight. We go 3 wide into turn 11. Le Williams seems to have won out in that particular occasion, and will Alfa Romeo come into pit lane now? We have chaos going on as everyone fights for P7, and Alfa Romeo decides to stay out. Jesus really being forced and squeezed by Alfa Romeo, losing them time to the top 10. And now behind we have a battle unfolding. For P8 it's Khan and Wine, and on the back of them is the Ferrari of TVX Buzz. Let's see how this will play out. As there is DRS, yes there is DRS, and that will help TVX Buzz to try and make a move past AlphaTauri, who will have less grip on those hard tyres. So let's see what will happen here as the Ferrari closing on the back of the AlphaTauri. Could they make a move? No, they will stick behind. Maybe the AlphaTauri did use some of their ERS. The Ferrari did seem quite slow into turn 11, and the Red Bull, I believe, are leaving it quite late to brake at turn 13. The 287 Gamer now coming into pit lane, and that is no doubtedly to replace their front wing. Liam trying their luck and sending it down the inside of Alfa Romeo Hams, and they seem to have got that move done. On hard tyres they are proving everyone wrong. and they are actually top of the hard tyre runners, so really a good showing from Alpine, apart from the idiot down in P16, who is called Mr. K. Wheeler. But we move as Liam now will have some DRS on the back of Amphitheater. No, they won't, and that will leave them open to an attack again from Hams, but Alpine will try to fight it, and Hams sending another Alpine spin in, and that is now Liam sent spinning into turn 10. And Hams, I believe they did force Alpine and really smash into the side of them. Really smashing into the side of the Alpine and left them spinning. And now that is P13 and 16 for the Alpine team, as Liam falls and loses a lot of positions in it. Now, on the tail of the McLaren, it is Amphitheater. They are gaining, but there is a VSC, so that will definitely stop them, as Mr. K. Wheeler becomes the next car to retire, and that is Liam and the Ferrari of TVX Buzz. I believe they gone side by side into turn 3, and that was a devastating crash. As that was Liam and TVX Buzz, yes. They gone side by side, and both of them seeming to go into the outside wall of turn 3. That was a very high speed crash, maybe 200 miles per hour into the wall. And it is a double DNF for Alpine all of a sudden running high up. I believe it was P5 and 6. Now we have the VSC restart, and F1 Rise is hot on the tail of their teammate. And will Oliver maybe let the McLaren go past their teammate? So let's see what will play out. Now we have DRS. Everyone seems to be gaining on this man, Oliver B. So let's see, as a train of cars seem to be forming behind. And will they just let their teammate through maybe? As Timmel gaining on the back of Hams and going to the inside. And maybe just pulling ahead of Hams, but Hams forces them on the inside curb. And now forces them into a wall. What has Hams doing there? What was he doing there? Forcing Timmel off into a wall onto straight of turn 11 and 12. What was Hams doing? I'm nearly forcing Timmel to retire from the session, but they both continue. Timmel still behind Alfa Romeo. F1 Rise gaining on their teammate, but I believe they'll just stick behind each other just for now. Timmel trying their luck again on Hams, who is a dirty seat in the cunt, but anyway, let's continue. Now Yummy Teapot on the back of Tarnan. They've got DRS, but is it enough? No, it isn't, as they stick behind AlphaTauri just for now. F1 Rise now, getting a 3-second time penalty. One of many drivers who have already got a penalty. And Oliver B allowing F1 Rise past and to build a gap. Quite silly, but they will have to come into pit lane quite soon if they want to pit onto hards, of course. Maybe they are hoping for a safety car, but they could just be pitting onto hard tyres. But it seems quite late if they don't do it now. And they are staying out, so they have gone more than halfway of the race on those medium tyres, and maybe these McLaren drivers are in a mutual agreement as F1 Rise now. And that is Hams spinning off, trying a move on the inside of the Red Bull, which was never happening. And that is Hams now spinning off at turn 1. That move was never happening, but Amputiavip now trying to overtake F1 Rise and being forced off track by F1 Rise through turn 4, but they seem to have got the move done at turn 4, and now they can build a gap. But F1 Rise might just come back at a Ferrari with DRS. And the McLaren tries a move on the inside of Amputiavip, but Amputiavip turning in onto McLaren. And what has happened there and that might just be investigated as F1 Rise rejoining the track unsafely, but F1 Rise being spun out by Amputiavip who turned in on him, and now F1 Rise had nowhere to go. That will surely be investigated after the race, and a lot might be said after that. Seems like to win this race you really need to just keep it clean all race, more than anything else. Yummy Teapot now on the back of Timmel. They're both on those old hard tyres, so let's see what they could do as let me try a half-hearted move on Timmel, but they don't get the best exit from turn 3. That leaves the door open for Yummy Teapot, who grabs it up, and up to P4, Yummy Teapot goes. Lovely stuff. As TVX Bus pits once again on hard tyres, interestingly this time. Timmel now on the back of Yummy Teapot, but up ahead we have Conan Wine making an easy move past Amputiavip. The most surprising thing about that was that Amputiavip didn't turn into him on the straight. And that is Amputiavip going into the pit lane. Oh, let's watch out if they maybe turn in onto one of their mechanics and kill them. But no, they are going onto soft tyres for 12 laps. Where will Amputiavip come out now? Someone needs to straight line this bit, and I totally agree with that. And Silent Apex, you have your chance to straight line him. And we have yellow flags being shown. Who is that for? It is for Ghost, who have had a moment through the final corner. Timmel picking themselves up a 3-second time penalty. Jesus as well, 3 seconds. They were probably forced out by the Ferrari, and going slowly now is the Mercedes. They do have a front wing. What is that? Nope! They are missing the side plate of their front wing, and Putiavipt, no surprise, once again involved in another collision. Yummy Teapot now, gaining and gaining on the Red Bull. Let's see what they can do, as they will have DRS once again. One of 4 DRS zones around this 5.3 kilometer long track. Let's see, gaining and gaining into turn 3, but not able to be close enough to pull a move off. And will those hard tyres, 13 laps short, Conan Wine, Timmel and Yummy Teapot are all on them. Will they last until the end of the race? Yeah. Nope, Jesus. Serving their 5-second time penalty in the pit lane. Yummy Teapot now on the back of the Red Bull of Timmel. What could they do as they enable DRS? They're both on those 13 lap old hard tyres, which might not just last until the end of the race. We will find out and see. A lot will be said after this race, and deservedly so. Oliver B, now the race leader for quite a long time, comes into pit lane. What will they go on? It's no surprising that it is soft tyres. F1 Rise and Hams now going into pit lane. What will happen with them? As they both go on to softs, it looks like. Yes, it is. Nope, it's Hams. Hams going on to hards. Going quite bold onto those hard tyres. And those will definitely not get him enough grip to last until the end of the race. I'm not quite sure if they can even pull points. They are currently in 10th, but quick gaining is TVX Buzz, who has those hard tyres heated and will be looking for some points at the end of this race. Now let's see what Oliver B could do as they move to the inside of the Ferrari, who's left defenseless. Oliver B on those new tyres. As what has happened here with Q87 Gamer, who has smashed into the side of the wall, bringing out the VSC. It seems like they just lost that tyre grip and smashed into the side of the wall. And that is now a VSC to slow things down once again. And that is a perfect opportunity for the top 3 to come into pit lane, but interestingly, Yummy Teapot stays out. Conan Wine and Timmel going onto soft tyres, they will come out in a perfect spot, and this is absolutely carnage for the McLaren of Oliver B. You'll bet their top dollar that they'd easily win the race, but now you're not quite too sure if they will. Now we have the end of the VSC, and Putiavipt right on the tail of Oliver B. Will they pull a move? They will have DRS after the VSC. Going fast speed into turn 9, but they decide to back out of making that move. And we do have a safety car to slow things down once again, but Yummy Teapot, they will now have a chance to pit finally. Silent Apex going into pit lane. A lot of people will be looking to pit just about now. And for some people this is a chance to revive their race after not showing any pace and being a dirty cunt like TPX. No, that was unnecessary. But he was dirty, so I'll allow it. Ham's now going into pit lane for some new soft tyres, and will Yummy Teapot stay out? Is the question. And the Yummy Teapot does come into pit lane to put on some new soft tyres. Where will they come out? Khan and Wine also going into pit lane to put on some new soft tyres. They will come out just ahead of Timmel in P3. And 8 power on those quite old medium tyres will be a sitting duck for everyone else. and might just be looking at a few overtakes as Kanen. I believe they got close to F1 Rise. And now Oliver, they will get away now, as we have Yummy Teapot following the Ferrari quite closely, but behind we've got Timmel enabling all their ERS to carry them past the Williams and Ferrari. The Williams and Ferrari do tap rear tyres, and that sends the Ferrari into gravel of turn 1, rejoining their track quite unsafely in the way of F1 Rise. Now Timmel, what could they do? As they try to switch back on Yummy Teapot, but not working. 8 Power already drops down to P13, the only driver, one of few drivers, without any penalties. They'll be hoping to keep in touch with the pack and really benefit on that advantage. But now we won't have any DRS for 2 laps. So every overtake will have to be done with a slipstream and some ERS. Let's see if the Williams could pull a move. They got a good exit from turn 10. Is it just good enough to overtake into turn 11? They send it down the inside. And they seem to have got the move done. Into turn 12 they go the sword straight. And the next driver to try their luck on the inside is Timmel, but being stuck behind Oliver B, who seems to be on quite old soft tyres compared to everyone else. 5 laps. And Conan Wine going wide and allowing F1 Rise to go past through turn 1. And we have a yellow flag, but for who? It is for Ghosty, who seems to have had a moment but is resuming with their race, and it's quite pointless now with Aid and Ghosty, but they will resume and keep on racing, as Amputiev now overtaken by Macy, and this is just lovely stuff. You love to see it. Circuit driver being overtaken. Now we've got Hams being stuck in this sandwich of Ferraris really, and it looks like TVX Bus has got themselves up to P8 just for now, but their teammate tries to fight it. That will definitely be some talk after the race between the Ferrari team. And now Ghosty retires in the pit lane. Hasn't been the best race for them, and we are on course to only have 12 finishers. So that is absolutely tragic. F1 Rise are now picking up a 3-second time penalty. Let's look at the penalty situation. F1 Rise with 6 seconds. That might demote them all the way down to P6. Currently running quite comfortably in P4, but not for long as Conan Wine tries it round outside. Oliver B fighting for P1 with Yummy. They don't have any time penalties to stop them, so let's see what Oliver B could do. Coming back at the Williams and going down the inside for turn 11. I invite the Red Bull as well, but the Red Bull backs out of that move, staying in P3. And Conan Wine has got past the McLaren. Now we have Yummy Teapot right on the tail of the McLaren, and with DRS, what could they do? Into turn 1, The McLaren trying to stay ahead, but it is a losing battle. They will stick ahead for now. F1 Rise going around the outside of Silent Apex to keep P5 for now, as we have Yummy Teapot being forced to the outside and being forced to stick in P2. Right on the tail of the McLaren. What could they do? They'll have DRS, which will help a lot, and that is Silent Apex out of the race and out of contention. And that leaves 12 runners still remaining in the session, as Yummy Teapot and Timmel tries their luck past the McLaren. The McLaren tries to fight the move from the Red Bull. They're going side by side still. The Red Bull with DRS, who will pull ahead here? The Red Bull tapping rear wheels with the McLaren. The McLaren tries it down the inside and nearly spinning out at turn 11. Now we're starting lap 28. We've only got 2 laps remaining as Yummy Teapot crosses the second line. And we only have 11 runners remaining in this race. Wow. Wow. Mr. K. Willis session. Nope, he left the session. Whoopsie daisy. Now the McLaren tries it round the outside of the Red Bull, and it might just make it stick, but the Red Bull forcing them quite off track and onto the curb and sticking in P3 for now. They're gonna have to get past the Red Bull quite quickly if they want to go on the hunt for the Williams. As we start the final lap, we have Conan on the back of the McLaren. The McLaren has DRS to pull away. Now on the back of the Williams is the driver for Red Bull. It's Timmel, but we have Conan Wine overtaking Oliver B. And Timmel really sniffing the back of that Williams rear wing and leaving the door open for Conan. And Conan on the back of the Williams. Could they do a last lap overtake? They go wide, the Williams goes wide, leaving the door open for Conan, who gets past on the inside. The Williams tries to fight it round outside and will have the inside. Now they try to send it down the inside of Conan, and this invites McLaren to the party. Who will have DRS here? It's DRS for the McLaren, but it looks like the Williams will cross the second line. It's a photo finish for all drivers involved, but it's Yummy Teapot crossing the line involved with the McLaren of Oliver B, and then rounding off the podium is Conan Wine. Hello, Tim. Well, so you finished P4, 2 points in the sprint, 12 in the race. It could have been way better with only 11 finishes, but how was it?
Audio. Yeah, the race is alright. I mean, in sprint I started P18, didn't do quali, and then I went to what P7 in the sprint. So to
Yeah,
get
quite a
P4,
few people.
yeah, to get P4 it's not bad. I mean, if I didn't have the penalty, I could do a lot better. I probably could have won that race. But who was it? It was one of the Alfa Romeos, absolutely all over the place. Nearly smashed me out a million one times.
Hans,
That
probably.
yummy teapot was just all over the place. He didn't want to hold his lines. He was moving all over the track under braking. It was just crazy. But it's not bad. P4 is not bad. I'm sure people are going to get penalties and it should bump me up a position or two. But yeah, not bad.
Yeah, it could be way more with the penalties. You could be even winning the race. Of course,
Yeah.
they do expect to be a lot of penalties. Yeah, a lot of. Did you get front wing damage
No,
during
no,
the race?
I didn't get front wing damage. I backed out of near enough everything. Like anyone who's about to smash me out, I had to brake and whatever else. But the VSC near the end was near enough perfect time for me. I hopped in the pits, tracked softs on, and then I didn't have to box under the safety car. Gained a few positions, and I think I could have won the race. It's just is what it is. I mean, I'm not good at Australia. Australia is not one of my good tracks, so to be able to get P4 here is definitely not bad.
Yeah, so how would you sum up your race out of 10? Would
Out of
it be a
10,
9?
well, from the sprint, P17 to P18 to P7, and then if you count P18 to P4, it's, yeah, probably a 9 out of 10.
Probably
Excluding the
over
people
the
all over the track, yeah.
Yeah, over the sprint, you done quite well. Obviously, the sprint gave you a chance to really boost your standing for the race, starting the race in P8, for P7, I believe it was.
Yeah, P7.
Yeah, alright. Thank you for the interview.
No worries, cheers.